You can use text as a mask in Affinity Photo, PC or Mac. Go over to the Artistic Text tool. You can find that in the Tools panel. Select there, set the font, etc. Arial I'm going to be using, and create this. Now I've got an image already that I've created. This could be any image, doesn't particularly matter. I'm just going to resize this design so it fills most of the screen. Now what I want is that image below that to be inside this text, so I can then sort of manipulate it further. So what I can do, go to this text here, and I can right click and then down to mask to below, and it will then suddenly, you can see now the image is behind that text, but you've lost all the image around here. So you've just got that image behind it. What you can still do is you can still manipulate that pixel. So just go to the pixel layer there in the layers panel, and you can move this around. So you can move that around. You can also lock children. Go up here to lock children, click there. And then as you do that, you can see now the image moves around. Also, you can manipulate the image. If you want to do that, personally, I always find it easier just to just remove the text. Not completely, just deselect it so you've got just the image. Now what you can do, you can apply filters, effects, etc. Maybe blend something else in. Maybe let's go to filters, say distort and deform. Maybe apply a couple of effects. I'm just going to apply a quick deform effect. And so on and so on. You can create all kinds of different sort of effects there. So just going to click apply. Now also what you can do, you notice it's obviously grayscale. You might want to colour it. So you can just go for layer and new adjustment layer. Maybe go down here and say recolor. So recolor, maybe let's make it red and stop there. Now what you can do, you can bring it back. So if you bring this back now, just there, and you've got your red text as well. So you've got the adjustment layer above the entire thing. Now you can, if you want to, you can move it in there. You can still see it's still red. So it's connected to it completely now. It's not within obviously anything else. So what you can also do, you can change the text. Suddenly you think, I've misspelled this or something, or you decide, you know what, I don't want word text. What you can do, just go here to Artistic Text tool again, and maybe just select those and put type. So type instead. Or you decide different font, perfectly reasonable as well. So I think, you know what, I prefer to use another font like type. Maybe it looks nicer. So you've got these lovely colours here, which you can still manipulate. So you can always still go to this one. You decide, you know what, I don't want it to be red. So you can double click on that and it will bring up the properties. Occasionally it might come up and you can change it, maybe go to blue. And that's by the recolor. Of course, you could have used any other adjustment. Doesn't have to be recolor. That was just the one. And also you've got blend modes as well. So you can run through blend modes. So you can try different blend modes. Maybe you prefer that one, vivid light. So you've got that nice text effects and you can still move around. You can also unlock that if you wish and move it around like that. Now, again, you can then also, you can manipulate the type as well as the pixel layer. So let's just go to the pixel layer first. And I'm going to add an effect. Just go to FX. So you can go to FX and click there. You can say, well, I want Gaussian blur. So Gaussian blur, and you can see what happens then. Just blurs the whole thing. Blurs the type, blurs the... But also you can go, say, outer shadow. So you can add a nice outer shadow there as well. And close. But also what you can do, you can also go to the type as well. So you can see the effects that's just been added to the pixel layer. Hasn't been added to the type per se. So you can actually go to the type. So make certain you select the type layer. That's the key thing there. Select type. And now go again to effects. So you can click there. And you can say, well, let's have a go for inner shadow again. Another inner shadow. You can actually end up creating different effects there. Bevel, you can see you can add a bevel effect there. You can create some very weird effects by doing that. Not all, some probably will not have much effect at all. You can go for 3D as well. And again with 3D, all these ones you've got option for profiles. So you can create different profiles, different bevels and bosses, change the angle there, change profile, and run through different designs. And they can all be modified at a later point as well. They're live. They're still all live. Also, gradient overlay. Let's say some may have an effect or not. Just try them out. But it's a great possibility of just exploring ways of creating unusual effects with masks, and it's still live. So you can still turn around and say, you know what, I don't want the word type at all. I want XYZ. Decide to go for XYZ. So XYZ has been replaced there. And you can still move it around, still got all the effects, and you can still modify this adjustment as well, and this pixel, and you can change that as well if you want to change it. And you can still, if you want, and again, I would suggest deselect all of those, and you've still got this underlying effect. So you can still modify this. So if you decide another filter, maybe go for noise, maybe add some more noise to the image. Create a lot more noise, though not particularly much more noise, or maybe go for distort and mirror. One of my favourite ones, and create a number of mirrors. And you can create all kinds of different designs and move that around. And once you've decided, click apply. You can always go back, again, set these two all back to on, and you can see your design there, and you've got that underlying image that's been used. And of course you can bring in another image, blend the two together, and you've still got like blending modes as well. So also what you can do, of course, is always with these things, they're just layers. You can always just duplicate them as well. So you can always go to layer and duplicate. You could even use duplicate linked if you want to try it and combine all different things. However, there is an issue as soon as you try and do apply filters, etc., that there will be a loss of that duplicate link. So I'm just going to go with duplicate. So you can duplicate the design, and you can see then you can combine that and create some very interesting type effects that way. And of course, what you can also do, once you've got that, you've also got blending modes. So you can run through, maybe go for difference, or maybe lighten. Or again, if you decide, you know what, I don't want the same colour as before, what I can do, I can always go to this one, and it's independent of the other one. All these layers are all independent, they're not connected, so you can change that one, so it's not going to affect the other one. So just go there, and you can change the colour. And now as you see, you change the colour, obviously before it blue. Now if I go for yellow, you can see or orange, you can see now you get a real weird colour clash there. And again, you can still move this type around. If you decide, I don't want this as text anymore, I don't need to edit anymore, I'm quite happy with what I've got. What you can always do, you can always go to a layer menu and then down to rasterize. So rasterize, and then I'm just going to click turn that off as well, preserve layer effects. I don't want the layer effects. So rasterize, the whole thing is turned into a pixel layer. And likewise, I can do the other one as well. I can select this whole load of layers, and I can turn around and say layer, go down to rasterize, do exactly the same. Preserve layer effects, so I want to turn that off, and rasterize. So it's all become pixel layers. I've got 2 pixel layers. What I can now do is, of course, I can use different blending modes. I can run through the blending modes again. And also I can apply filters as well. So I can now think, you know what, let's just go for filters, distort, maybe, and deform. And then you can distort, say, this layer. The layer that's selected is going to be the layer that you're going to distort. The bottom layer will still remain. So you can just quickly distort that, add some handles very quickly, and then you can distort it and create some, maybe follow the line of the other text. There, just create it and distort it in all kinds of different ways. So I just make that just go there and around there to the Y, maybe the X, just drag that over there, maybe drag that over there, and so on. So it can just follow the line of the underlying image as well. And you can create all kinds of different distortions as well, of course. Maybe stretch that over a bit further there. And then you can see, create that, and of course you can continue. If you decide, you know what, I always love to try repeat deform, it's always quite good. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So then once you've got that, of course, you can then group them all together, and you can go to layer, and you can merge selected, maybe make them all one single layer. And you've got your design there, which is created basically from a couple of words with a couple of effects added to them. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.